It's me, I'm C, and this is Kickback Astrology. Kick off your shoes and relax your feet. Alright, I'm sorry, I quit. But you know what time it is. Grab your guards, grab your woodies, grab your glasses, do what you need to do. Kick back how you kick back. I'ma kick back how I kick back. And let's get into some of these birth charts. Come on with it. Alright, so y'all know what time it is. Gonna get into another one of these birth charts. And today we're gonna get into Miss Wendy Williams' birth chart. Wendy Williams is known as radio host and a TV show host. And, she knows her little thing. Lately she's been in the media for, her with all of these divorce rumors and things. I've seen a couple of shows and things like that. I've definitely listened to the radio interviews, especially when she was going back and forth with Whitney and Method Man was gathering her. I mean, when Wendy gets gathered. But anyways, I wouldn't say I'm the biggest fan, but I've seen a show or two, and with all this going on, I was like, let me get into her birth chart, because we both Moon and Scorpio, so I'm like, let me see what's really going on. But Wendy, I see you. I see you. I mean, that's the only thing I see you. Moon and Scorpio, we here, but I see you. I mean, hide it. You try to hide it as you will. I see you. Well, we gonna get into this birth chart, because Wendy life kind of going awry right now. It's kind of going that. I mean, a nigga acting up, nigga acting up. She done got a new young boy, you feel me? She crying all over the place. Her son smacking niggas, all kind of stuff going on. So we gotta get into this birth chart. So y'all know what time it is. We do Sun, Moon, and Mars for men, Sun, Moon, and Venus for women, and then we'll get into some of those aspects. Come on with it. Now, Wendy was born on July 18th in 1964 in Asbury Park, New Jersey. So that makes her a sun in Cancer, a moon in Scorpio, and a Venus in Gemini. So let's get into it. Off the bat, we see that Wendy is a double water, so we know that she's going to be a very emotional girl, and she has a Venus in Gemini, so she has a little air, so that makes sense because she was a talk show host. She is a talk show host, and she was a radio, what they call it, disc jockey. She was a radio, host or what have you. So let's get into it. So right off the bat, we know that Cancer is ruled by the moon. And what do we know about the moon? We know that the moon rules our internal nature. The moon is all about your emotional nature. The moon is, the mother, so to speak. So we know that Cancer is going to possess some of those same qualities. So Cancer is going to be nurturing. A Cancer is going to be very family oriented. A Cancer is going to be, emotional. It's the moon. It's the mother. But a Cancer also, they're the mother. A mother also has a protective nature about itself, so you can never forget that about a Cancer. You see what I'm saying? A mother is going to protect her cubs at all costs, so never forget that. Straight up, they will go there with you, especially about somebody who they consider is a part of their family unit. So don't let the sweet taste fool you. None of that. Oh, I love you. Oh, okay. Straight up. Have you ever dealt with a scoring Cancer? That's all I'm gonna ask you. Straight up. So with the Cancer having a very nurturing nature, and like I said, they have to, be comfortable first. That's the thing with Cancers; they have to have a comfort zone. Straight up, so they have to work from that. So a Cancer has to get themselves together first before they can put themselves out into the world. You know what I mean? They have to take care of themselves first. Remember, Cancer is still in the first half of the zodiac, so they're going to be self-oriented. Although they love their family, and like I said, they're very family-oriented as well. That family unit is very important to them, and building one is, not necessarily maintaining, but building one and, having that family unit to work from and put themselves out in the world from, with that family support and things like that foundation that a family can provide, that's what a Cancer is going for. A Cancer must find their comfort zone before they can proceed, and that's in any situation. So if a Cancer is in an uncomfortable situation, that's when you'll see them kind of, be bashful or shy or standoffish and things like that, or really not want to move forward, very stagnant in life. You'll see those Cancers sometimes, and that's because they don't have that backing, that familial support that they need, that family unit that they're so focused on building and having. You know what I mean? If they don't have that, then it'll be hard for them to move forward, and that's in any situation. So, like a Cancer in a room full of people they don't know is not a happy Cancer. You know what I mean? Like they're trying to get out of their excellence because they have to have that comfort zone in order to proceed. So they have to have like their brother with them, their people, whoever their people are. You know what I mean? They have to have that comfort zone first, and then they proceed on. No matter the situation, whether it's business, you know what I mean? Like it could be business, it could be, you know what I mean, as simple as going to a party. You know what I mean? Like they have to have that comfort first. You know what I mean? It could also go the other way when a Cancer gets uncomfortable. They may not shy off. They may not be bashful. They might not be shy. They may blow up. You know what I mean? It could go the other way too. So I'm saying she could get sticky when a Cancer get uncomfortable. So you want to, you know what I mean? Let them have their little comfort zone. Let them, bring whoever they feel comfortable with, and just let them chill out. Cause it can go the other way too. Cause when you put a Cancer in the corner, listen. So, although we know that Cancer is the mother and Cancer represents our emotional nature and our internal world, our comfort zone, so to speak, Cancer is also a cardinal sign, so you have to always keep that in mind when dealing with a Cancer. Cancer is all about starting anew, about getting a new thing going, about, you know, like I said, getting that spark for something new, starting a new venture. You know what I mean? Not necessarily sustaining it like a fixed sign, or, changing and moving and adapting with the times like a mutable sign. The cardinal Cancer is more about getting things started, getting things going. What are we going to do? You know what I mean? Putting pieces together type of thing. It's all about, that your takeoff is all about, being that leader, being in charge, being the first one, decide to keep and get something started. So even though a Cancer is ruled by their emotional natures, they're still going to be self-starters. They're still going to be, the first one to get something going. They're still going to, proceed with new, business ventures and things like that, new activities, things like that. They're still going to, like I said, be that leader, be that, take charge type of thing, get it going. So once they found like their little comfort zone, their little spot where they can, feel good and comfortable and, feel like they have the proper support, then they can move on from there. They can proceed from that foundation, you know what I mean, and start new things and get things going. So that's why you'll see, like, once a Cancer has dealt with all their emotional turmoil, got to a spot where they feel good and ready, you know what I mean? Like I said, they feel like they have the proper support and they're emotionally stable enough to proceed. That's when you'll see Cancers, like, putting other people in position to get money as well, like, not just themselves. They'll be the first one to, like, initiate something, you know what I mean? Try to go find that check, you see what I'm saying? And then if they find something for somebody else, they'll be the first one to, put you on game and make sure you get some. You know what I mean? They're going to be the one starting it. They're going to be the one finding new business ventures. They're going to be the one, you know what I mean, to have that new thing. But you know what I mean? Like I said, they have to deal with their emotional internal world first. But they're going to do that. I mean, think of 50 Cent with that vitamin water. It was something new, like that nobody was thinking about that, like, and then he made how much money off of it, like, you see what I'm saying? That was just something that he used himself, like at the gym and things. But he, you know what I mean, he took it upon himself to take that, you know what I mean, get it sold. You see what I'm saying? And it was profitable for him, or however it went. But you see what I'm saying? It's a new thing that ain't nobody really thinking about. It's just something he used to take care of himself personally. Remember, Cancer is all about that comfort. It's all about taking care of yourself. It's all about that personal nurturing. You see what I'm saying? And he took that and he was able to make money from it. You see what I'm saying? But you see that it wasn't like he was like a person who was just like, you know what I mean, just trying to like start off on his own and, you know, set off to start that. He was already comfortable. He already had his position in rap. He already had millions. He already had, you know what I mean, he was already comfortable in his personal life. And then from there, he was able to continue on off that foundation that he had already built from being a rapper or an actor or what have you. And then he, you know what I mean, once that came along, once he, you know what I mean, once that opportunity came along, he was able to proceed. You see what I'm saying? He was willing to because that cardinal energy in him, he was ready to put it out there. You see what I'm saying? I mean, he knew the product, and you know what I mean. He was comfortable with the product already, and it was just like two and two, like it just all came together at once. So that's how you see a Cancer operating business a lot of this. This is also why you'll see like a Cancer always has like new things going on. Like even though like, you know, like that whatever they initially did was over. You know what I mean? To an end, they'll still find another way to make money. Like I said, think of 50 Cent. Once his rap career was over, then he did what? He was still a rapper when he did the vitamin water deal, but he wasn't as prominent as he was. And then even after that, then he went on to Power, and then now he's just, you know, loaning niggas money and getting his interest off that. Like you gonna always find a way. Like it's always gonna be a new way. You see what I'm saying? It's always gonna be a new thing that he's doing. He's always gonna, you see what I'm saying? Be the one to start something new. Like who would have thought of that? Like I'ma just loan niggas money at the club and then ask get it back. You know what I mean? Like you know, it's always gonna be something else. He's always gonna initiate something else. He's never gonna just sit around and you know what I mean. Just you know, like I said, he's never just gonna sit around and just accept it for what it is, or he's never gonna just be trying to adapt to what's going on around him. He's always gonna be just searching for the next thing. You know what I mean? And trying to get that started. So Cancer is a water sign. So we know that with Cancer being a water sign, they're going to deal heavily with their emotions and things like that. And Cancer is a part of the first half of zodiac, so they're about themselves. So they're going to deal with their own emotions a lot. So that'll be a lot of Cancer's focus is their own internal world and their own emotions, and you know, just it's a lot of things in a Cancer's life are going to be very personalized. They won't necessarily be, you know what I mean, from an outside perspective or very objective. They're very subjective people. They're going to, you know what I mean, relay everything to you in a manner that, you know, incorporates how they feel about it. You know what I mean? Like you ever had somebody tell you a story and you like, I don't know if that's really what happened. Like that's just how you took it. Like and you're trying to explain to them like, no, I don't think they meant it like that. I think it was just this, and they're just like, no, no, it was that. Like that's the kid, that's the water sign. Like that's facts. So even when they're telling you like a story scenario that happened or trying to explain to you why they're upset about something or you know what I mean, something like that, when they're just telling you a story, they're always going to incorporate their personal feelings into it. They're always going to include, you know what I mean, their perception of it rather than just, you know, how maybe an air sign would just give you like straight, you know what I mean, this is what happened and it is what it is, or earth sign might try to, you know what I mean, give you straight facts, this. Sign isn't going to do that. The water sign Cancer is going to personalize everything. So even when they're telling you the story, they're telling you it automatically from their point of view. There's no third person. There's no just this is what it is and that's what it is. Like no, they have to tell you how they felt throughout the entire story. Like they have to tell you how it was coming off to them. Like they can't just tell you what happened. Like and oftentimes, even though being a water sign and Cancer is very wrapped up in their emotions and their own internal world and their personal issues and their family and things like that, that doesn't necessarily mean that they are the best at these things. That doesn't mean that they're successful. You know what I mean? Like that doesn't mean just because you're in tune with your feelings and you know how you feel, that doesn't mean that you truly understand how you should deal with that situation or how to handle it or even how to communicate it to somebody else. You're just know how you feel about it. You see what I'm saying? And then that can start to become an issue because you may not necessarily be seeing things for what they are, or you may be, you know what I mean, putting your own feelings and how you feel about on somebody else's situation and things like that, and you're not truly understanding from an outside perspective how another person is feeling. It's always more so like, okay, this is how I would feel in the situation, so I'll assume this is how you feel in the situation, or this is how you should feel in the situation, because this is how I would feel, and then they move from that versus really taking the time to like sit down and really, you know what I mean, take themselves out of the equation and you know, really evaluate the situation just from, you know, an objective perspective. A Cancer, damn near feel it with you, like they madder than you, like like it happened to them. You trying to get your anger, or you trying to get off what you trying to get off, trying to vent, and they done. Ooh, got to love the Cancer, boy. But a Cancer is going to be, like I said, in tune with their emotions. They're going to be aware of them. They're going to, you know what I mean? And a lot of Cancers, you know, eventually will, you know, learn how to express those things. You know what I mean? But sometimes this extreme focus on their own internal world and how they feel and things like that will backfire on them, and you know what I mean, start to be a negative on them because you're seeing everything from this personal perspective when some things just aren't that, especially in business. Like a lot of Cancers will feel slighted, or you know what I mean, slide into depression and things like that when things aren't working out, but it's like it's not personal, it's just business. You gotta take it from your opposite. You know what I mean? That Capricorn ain't personal, it's just business, straight up. So with them having this connection with their own emotions, a lot of the time they're able to, like, you know what I mean, nurture other people, and you know what I mean, cater to the vulnerabilities of others and things like that. They're able to spot those things in other people because they're so in tune with their own emotional nature and their own internal world. They can spot a lot of the things that other people are going through as well, a lot of other people's emotions and things like that, things that go unsaid and things like that. They can kind of feel that and understand that, and a lot of the times, you know what I mean, like I said, they kind of try to nurture you and, you know, mother you, so to speak, comfort you, provide that comfort for you once they spot it. But often, sometimes, I ain't gonna even say all the time, sometimes a lot of people say like Cancers are manipulative, and this is why they'll say that, because you have to remember they're a cardinal sign. So a lot of the times a Cancer is going to be putting that nurturing energy out there. They're going to be putting those feelings out there. They're going to be, you know what I mean, using those emotions and, you know what I mean, ability to connect with people, and you know what I mean, spot people's vulnerabilities and things like that, have an understanding of certain emotions that other people may not have. They're going to utilize those things to get what they want, you know what I mean, to get things done. They're going to put it out there, you see what I'm saying? They're a cardinal sign, they're going to use that to get things done. So that's why a lot of the times you'll see people say that Cancers can be manipulative, because they'll use that mother nature to get what they want, that nurturing, loving, caring, supportive nature, just to get what they want. But, and some people just can't rock with it, you know what I'm saying? 'Cause, you know, you gotta use what you got to get what you want. But hey, you'll notice that like when a lot of Cancers like try to do business and things like that, or like business ventures and trying to build their team and things like that, they'll use that mothering nature to, you know what I mean, create a family unit where they're always like presenting that family image, like, and that's how they get people to buy into whatever they're talking about. So they'll do like the whole "you're my brother, you're my sister" when it's like really just business, but it's like "you're my brother, you're my sister, da da da," or "this is a family, we should be loyal to the end," stuff like that. They always create that family dynamic where the, as opposed to just like being business partners. Just this just business, and it is what it is. They're always trying to create that family unit around them, and they'll use that to draw other people in because other people are attracted to that. Most people want to be a part of it, you know, want to be a part of something and want that support from a group dynamic and want to be in contact with people who have the same interests as them. And if you're promoting that family unit where we're going to always be for each other, and you're providing something that some people may not have had under false pretenses when you know you're just trying to make money, that's where it'll start to be an issue. they'll always say like they're building a family, so they won't even say they're building a team. They'll be like, I'm building a family. They'll incorporate people from like their childhood and things like that. They'll always bring people along with them, family members, husbands, wives, things like that. They'll always have that family unit. They need that support because like, remember, like I told you before, they need that support before they can proceed onward. They have to have that, comfort zone. Remember, you think of Cancer, just think comfort zone. The comfort zone. Like, you think about it, they have to have that in order to proceed from that point. And they'll, create it, whether it's with their actual family or with people outside that they bring in to create that for themselves. And then they'll move from there. Like, they have to start from that home base, from that root. That's why you see a lot of them like going into business with their family and stuff like that. Like tiny, like for example, Tiny, like Ti's wife, she's a Cancer. You see, her business is intertwined into Ti, even though she was famous prior to him. Ever since she got with him, a lot of her business has been incorporated with that family unit and those things. And even like when she does go to do other things, she always brings in people that she is familiar with. She's never just really like stepping out there on her own. Like when she had her TV show before, she brought in her friend Toya, who she was comfortable with. You see what I'm saying? She didn't just stay out there on her own. Like she brought in her best friend Shekinah. That's why we know Shekinah from that TV show. She had a TV show with her husband. She incorporated her family unit. She's a Cancer. That family dynamic is very important to her. You see what I'm saying? And Wendy's the same way. That's why you see like her husband managing her, and we like she's always talking about her son and we're the hunters, we're the hunters, we're the hunters. You know what I mean? But well, prior to all all of these divorce, it's just been a spectacle. But anyway, prior to all of this, you saw that she was really, bigging that up. She really emphasized that. She, made it a point to make sure her family was involved in what she was doing. She makes it a point to keep around the same people. She doesn't really bring a bunch of different people in and out. Even like her, well, I don't remember her name, but the girl on the show who's like been there forever, who she talks to and goes back and forth with, and I guess like she runs the show or whatever. She's been there forever. Like she's gonna bring a unit that she's comfortable with. So like even when she decided to like start her foundation or whatever, you see she has a hunter foundation like that. She incorporated them into that. Even that's a family thing. And then even though like she's gone into different businesses like clothing and things like that, wigs and things like that, she always kind of has the same team, same people around, like the people that she's comfortable with, and she kind of moves throughout these different ventures with those people. She isn't necessarily, you always have to bring other people in, but I mean, like, some people have different teams for different things, and, they'll go out and find the best person for, or things like that, or, you know what I mean? But Wendy isn't that type of person. She's going to go with what's comfortable, and then she's going to move forward from there because she's still a cardinal sign. She still has to start new things. She still has to keep going and trying things, and you know what I mean? But she's going to keep that unit close. Not necessarily considering each individual member of that group. It's more so of something that they need to, you know what I mean, move off of themselves. It's not necessarily the best thing for the people. How are we a family, but this venture only serves you? Like, we a family, but you the only one winning out here. Like, what kind of stuff is that? Like, anyway, but that's how some people end up feeling. You know what I mean? Because, excuse me, at the end of the day, business is business and personal is personal. And you, hey, mix the two if you want to. That's on you. Facts. So like sometimes a Cancer will like hit people with like a love overload, where it's just like they're just doing so much for you and giving you so much, and you know what I mean, nurturing you so much, and like I said, mothering you and taking care of you and all of that. But then you look up and they've gotten everything that they wanted out of the situation, but you haven't gotten anything that you expected to get out of the situation. You just like, hold on, bro, hold on. Like, yeah, you doing all that, but that ain't even what I came for. Like, they hit you with the love overload. They was doing all of that to get what they wanted, and then once they got what they wanted, hey, that's when people start to feel slighted by the Cancer, because it was like I said before, it was all about we and family and love and all of that, and then at the end of the day, what did it amount to? Like, you see what I'm saying? This was just something that was providing support for you. At the end of the day, none of us won. Like, you see what I'm saying? That's when people start to feel slighted and be mad at Cancer and really not really fuck with Cancer no more and stuff like that. Because it's just like, you did all of that. Like, you really played with people's, like internal world. Like, you played with people's real insides. Like, you really messing with people for real, for real. Like, just so you can have a foundation that you can move from and you can gain from. But then, like, what about everybody else? Like, you know what I mean? Like, even though, like I said before, Cancer will put other people on and things like that. I'm just telling you how the people on the outside will start to feel about it. You know about a Cancer after a while, because they'll start realizing, like, oh, I'm just here. You know what I mean? I'm not here for my talents or what I actually had to offer. I'm just here to provide support for you at the end of the day, for real, for real. Like, and people feel like used and be hurt about it. You know what I mean? And everybody reacts to hurt differently. So then you get what you get. And then, we also know that cancers, you know what I mean? I said to be very passive aggressive. So a Cancer doesn't really want to initiate conflict. They want to initiate nurturing. They want to initiate you. They want to, you know what I mean? Let's get that type of stuff started. They want to, you know what I mean? Let's talk about it. Let's feel about it. Let's discuss our emotions. Let's just, you know what I mean? They're not necessarily going to be the one to start conflicts. It actually does bother them with them being such a nurturing, loving sign. It's hard for them to initiate that conflict because their nature is to want to help you, heal you, you know what I mean? So they really want to create good vibes. Honestly, they're really not trying to start the problem. They're really more so focused on building that comfortability around them and you know what I mean? And just having those good vibes around them. And then if you know what I mean, conflict does arise. Like I said, they're not the best at dealing with it, and they'll be more passive aggressive because there's not their nature to confront you directly. Their nature is to want to be nice and caring and really considerate and things like that. And oftentimes it'll be hard to approach someone else with aggression when you know how that'll make someone feel because they know how it feels when someone treats them that way. So then that'll kind of get in their way, and then they'll end up being passive aggressive because they can't address them head on because of that emotional, you know what I mean? We also can see Wendy's Sun in Cancer playing out in her relationship with Charlemagne the God. We saw that Charlemagne came up under Wendy. Charlemagne is a Cancer himself, so like I said, he was already attracted to that familial element that they had over there. You see what I'm saying? He may not have known that, but you see how she's putting that out there, like. I mean, it's me and my husband, and we got this whole little thing going on, and we just two, trying to build, and black love and all that. Charlemagne is pro-black, and you know what I mean. And then she let him stay with her, and you know what I mean. He lived with them for a period of time. Like she really was providing that support system. You know what I mean. Even though she couldn't pay him, she was still trying to like provide that support for him. She was still nurturing him, taking care of him. Brought him into her home. Cancer brought him into her home, and he became aware of different things that were going on inside her house that even people outside of the you know what I mean? Even people who were close to it, Wendy, I keep on say Whitney for whatever reason, I don't know. But even people who were close to Wendy weren't familiar with Charlemagne was exposed to those type of things, and he was, you know what I mean, very close to her, and she was still trying to nurture him, even though she was going through whatever she was going through. She was still trying to maintain that perfect family, perfect wife and husband, the hunter's image, even though I know Charlemagne was on the inside looking like, oh, this is all some bullshit. Like, straight up. But you see that she provided that for him. She invited him into her home. She brought him close to her. She tried to, you know what I mean, raise him up, so to speak, in the radio game. And now she's like a proud mama. You know what I mean? Like, okay then, son, I see you with the book. He went down her same path. He got a prominent radio show. He wrote a book. Wendy Williams had a prominent radio show. She wrote a book, and she got her TV show. He's going right down the line, right out mama's titty. Straight up, 'cause like I said, like I told you, they create that family unit, so Cancer is going to, provide different opportunities. People with cancer is going to, nurture the people who are around them. She did put time, energy, and she did take care of Charlemagne when he was under her. Now, whatever else was going on behind the scenes, we saw that she really, even though he was like our sidekick, she really, or people consider him to be her sidekick, she really built him up, and he really learned a lot from her, and he was really able to take that blueprint and go and create his own success. And, you know what I mean? You can't say that ain't thanks to Wendy. He can't say it. Even when he was mad, he couldn't say nothing, because it's like, that's his, yeah, I mean? Like, that ain't his mama, but you see what I mean? Like, what you gonna say about your mama? Nothing. You got the worst mama in the world. What you gonna say about her? What you gonna let another motherfucker say about her? Nothing. Facts. Facts. And you see how even when they were at odds or have you, they never really went back and forth. They never really got into the nitty gritty. I mean, Charlemagne said a few things here, said a few things there, but it was never really. He was just trying to pray for her and stuff like that. You know what I mean? He never really exposed her. She never exposed him. They never really went into it, because it's like they still had that bond where it's like we family, even though they not family. It's like you raised me like that. You see what I'm saying? Like that's that sun in Cancer where she has that effect over. You know what I mean? The people around her, so to speak, where they still have those bonds, even though, you know what I mean, hey, we done went our separate ways and what have you, they'll still have that kind of attachment. Like I said, what you gonna let somebody say? Like, it's just is what it is. Like that motherly bond where it's just like, even if I don't fuck with you, like I ain't gonna let nothing happen to you. I ain't gonna cause no harm to you. I ain't gonna, you know what I mean? Because you got that love for them at the end of the day, regardless. So you can see that in that relationship. Now, Wendy also says that she's always been a homebody and always preferred to stay home rather than going out and partying and things like that, which also relates to her being a Cancer, because remember, Cancers love their home, they're the mother, they're the nurturer, they build their family oriented. So that's going to be their thing. The home is their domain. You know what I mean? Think about your mama at the house. Like, mama run the house. Like, I don't care what you talking about. Like, you know what I mean? Pops might be in charge, but this mama's ground. Like, you know what I mean? This her stomping ground. You know what I mean? She put everything up in here. She know everything at. She telling you know what I mean? She making sure everybody in line. Like, that's what it is. So that makes sense. That would be more so where she would like to be, because it's where she's comfortable. That's where her family is. That's her comfort zone. Like I told you, if she when she goes out things like that, she's not going to necessarily be around a bunch of people that she's comfortable with. It's new people, it's different people, it's all types out here. So she would prefer to stay in the house. So that makes sense with her being a sun in Cancer, and also with that Scorpio moon, she's going to be secretive and like to hide, and we'll get to that later. But yeah, that makes sense. So she loves that home domain. Like I said, she loves that family unit. You see how she tried to maintain that even when it was clear to us and I mean her and everybody else that it's over, girl. It's over. Charge it to the game. Everybody got to charge it to the game every now and then. I mean, and what the sooner you come to accept that, the better off you will be. But we see it took Wendy a little bit longer. But like I said, it ain't. It's a Cancer thing, man. It's a Cancer thing, man. That's all it is. Just a Cancer thing, man. Because when she had that family unit, she couldn't fathom letting that support go, letting that, you know what I mean, letting her personal security go, her comfort zone go. It's just what you used to. The devil you know is better than the devil you don't. You see what I'm saying? And we all have been in the comfort zone before, and you know how that is. You can get stuck there. Like, that's just how it is. Like, once you get comfortable, like, don't you? Well, I ain't trying to tell y'all, don't you ever get too comfortable. Because that's when shit go awry. So she's working from that comfort zone, but the whole time it was draining her. You know what I mean? She's trying to sustain this family unit because that's what's providing, that comfort for her. But you know what I mean? It's a toxic situation. It's not something that you need to be in. It's going to drain you in the long run. And a lot of times cancers will get into that mode where they're just trying to, sustain or build or create their perfect family unit, and they don't consider the people that they're doing it with. And that's the selfish part of cancer. And that's where they get themselves in trouble. That's where you see that first house where they're just focusing on their wants and their needs and their emotional nature and their comfort zone. They're not actually looking at the person that they're with for who they are and what they're actually bringing to the table. Things like that. They're just focused on their family unit, being a perfect family unit, maintaining their family, and creating that comfort for themselves. And this is also why like cancers will like have babies when they can't afford them and things like that, because their whole thing they're going for, they just want to nurture, they just want to build a family, be comfortable, nurture and take care of the kids. And that's just what it is, and they're going to build that whether or not they're in an ideal situation or not. So even if they're with the wrong person, they'll still try to build that ideal family unit when that person just may not be suited for that lifestyle. But they'll keep on, and they'll keep taking them back and keep nurturing to them and keep catering to them, and then they'll be at the end of the day bitter and mad, and have all those emotions behind it, when they were the ones who initially, what I mean, they weren't taking the proper time to consider their options and, how these people would, really fare in a family unit. They just were trying to get what they wanted out of the situation. It also makes sense that Wendy's mother would be her main role model because she is a cancer. I mean, she's very connected to that motherly nature. She's very connected to that energy, that nurturing, that, what I mean, taking care of the family and providing, and like I said, forming a stable family unit. She's all about that, and she came from that. As she describes it, she came from a two-parent home. They both had good careers and things like that. I believe her mom was a teacher. I don't recall what her dad did. Sorry, I didn't write it down, but she came from a middle class home. She said they had their own rooms and things like that. So she was pretty well off. She came from a pretty traditional family, as she said. Her mom, would cook and clean, and you know what I mean, make sure she was prim and it's kept it together, and very Susie Homemaker-ish from what she was describing. You see what I'm saying? Very traditional in a sense. So that's something that she was trying to create for herself as well. Because remember, cancer is all about that personal. It's all about where they're coming from. It's all about their home environment. So she's going to try to recreate that as well for herself. She's going to try to, be that dutiful wife who has a long-standing husband and a successful career. And, the son that's doing well and all of that. Like, she's all about that. So that's why she kind of got, stuck. Another reason why she kind of got stuck in that. They stuck in the matrix, like they say. She got stuck in that not so healthy situation with old Kelvin, whatever. They be calling that man 3 different names. Mr. Williams. Now, this sun in Cancer is also the reason why you see her crying all of the time. Because that moon in Scorpio want to be hard. The moon in Scorpio wants to be hard. But that sun in Cancer, this is why you see her crying all over when she just got like pulled over by TMZ and asked about Kevin, and she just started crying. Or like when she broke down about Whitney and she was confessing about addiction, she was crying. And then like Wendy will cry. Wendy will cry at the drop of, not the drop of a hat, but she will. Like, ain't no shame in her game. Like, we see her crying all the time. You just be like, dang. You all, like, you feel bad. And it's one of those real cries where you just like, ooh. Cancers are also like the quintessential pretty girls and pretty boys. Like you know what you think of when you think like a pretty boy. Like they all into themselves. Like they always prim and very focused on themselves, take care of themselves and things like that. And remember, this makes sense for Cancer because Cancer is in the first half of the zodiac, so it's about self and it's all about nurturing and caring. So they're going to care for themselves. So they're going to make sure they're groomed properly. They're going to take those hour showers. They're going to make sure they brush their hair and do whatever they need to do to get the way. They're going to make sure that's the type, like your dude, he take more time than you in the bed. Like that's Cancer man type. Like straight up, like they gonna make sure they put together because it's all about self-care. Remember that. So that's why you see like a lot of them working out and things like that. It's about nurturing the self and things like that. So you'll get that where you'll see like the muscles, and they'll have the nice clothes, and they'll trick your ass and think they got something that they ain't got. Just because self care is very important to them. Straight up, so don't get it twisted. It's not like a fire sign who just wants to look like bam and in your face, and you know what I mean? Showstopper. Nah, it's just like they like to put themselves together. They like to take care of themselves, so they ain't gonna let you catch them out here looking crazy. They gonna take that hour shower. They gonna make sure they go to the hairdresser every week. They gonna make sure them nails is done. You feel me? And if they shit start looking raggedy, they gonna make sure they take it out. You know what I'm saying? Like self care, straight up. So that was part one of Wendy Williams' birth chart. You know, we got to dive into that sun and Cancer. You know, got to see how Wendy likes to nurture herself and take care of her family, and kind of build that foundation, that emotional support that she needs. And we also got to look into more of the softer side of Wendy, because we know her to be so controversial. So it's all right to see a little softer side. You know what I mean? So, as always, thanks for watching. Make sure you kick back with part two. Let me know what you think down below. Come on with it.